Micah, that's not funny anymore. Stop it. Micah?
Got a bit of a heavy question for you today. When was the last time you felt hunted? When was the last time you felt like prey? Now, I actually kind of got used to the feeling at one point in my life. Growing up in Scarborough as a kid, we were told all the time that we couldn't go outside to play because the police were looking for somebody, and that was never a big deal. I don't know. We just sort of figured, okay, some days we can't go outside. But then later on, we moved to a place near downtown. And I used to go downtown all the time to hang out with my friends or to go see a concert or some other thing. And so I'd end up walking home late at night all by myself. It never occurred to me that that was not safe. Not safe. Not very bright at all. Let me fix this. So yeah, there was a couple of times I was definitely stalked. The cars would go around the block and, follow me. If I'd turn this way, they'd turn that way, that kind of thing. And then I'd have to duck into an alley or make a right-hand turn instead of a left just to throw them off, and I'd hear them screeching down the side streets looking for me. And, I come from a town where, now that I've been grown up, that was the dumbest goddamn behavior in the world. I mean, I really should have known better. Having said that, in this movie, everyone's stalked by a Neanderthal. I can forgive them for not seeing that one coming. Welcome to the Found Footage Broadcast. My name is CJ, your movie god. Roll the intro, here we go. Today we're talking about Primal Darkness 2026. This is a Horror Dadz production. Now, I spent a little time on the Horror Dadz website, and I started noticing that, I've seen a lot of these. They release found footage almost exclusively. It's what they do. And for the most part, I would say 70% of their movies are, hey, let's go camping, check out my guns, big monster. That's it. And they're all kind of next to zero budget or, close to it. And it's a mixed bag. Sometimes that really, really works. We see no budget movies work all the time. In fact, Fairfield County 4 was released through Horror Dadz. You can also check out Tahoe Joe 1 and 2. Pretty darn good. 3 was not as good as they were, but whatever. But it's a mixed bag because there's definitely movies in that catalog that I just felt like they were just trying to improv a movie. That doesn't always come together. But what I love about Horror Dadz productions is that there's like an enthusiasm behind everything. Even if it's all rough, pretty consistently it's all rough, it still works a lot of the time because they're just out there having a good time. They're just out there saying, like, I want to make a movie, I'm going to be in a movie. And you get that hype, that sense that, like, all right, here we are. Primal Darkness is very much in that vein. We've got a guy who's like, all right, I got myself, a friend of mine agreed to guest in a clip, and I got a couple friends who are willing to go off and do a side vignette, and we got a guy in a mask. Perfect. That's all we need. We're covered. Let's go to the desert. Now, as far as cinematography goes, I mean, we're leaving a little to be desired in this movie when it comes to cinematography. Our main character loves rocks. He loves rocks. That's not a scripted personality quirk, but it is definitely where he points the camera. He's in a gorgeous desert, and he points that camera at either the ground or at a hillside, never at the beautiful vistas of the wild desert. Every once in a while, he'll pan across that vista of the wild desert, and it'll be a gorgeous shot, and he'll be like, whoops, and he'll point it somewhere else. It's weird choices. Weird choices. But at one point in the movie, he finds a cell phone, an abandoned cell phone, which the people who found this footage managed to pull footage off of. And that segment seemingly is just by a completely different couple of people. And so they had their own sense of cinematography, and it is pretty gorgeous. In both vignettes, we get wandering around the desert, some gory discoveries, just carcasses, or at one point, I don't even know, I stared right at that thing, and I have no idea what that bloody mass was. It was very odd. and like a severed lip. So we get some decent blood, some decent gore, and then Neanderthal, and you have that chase scene. The chase scenes are rough, but that's okay. One thing I do want to say is that segment with the couple is mostly the tent scene, the scary scene, is focused around a tent. This will remind you of something if you're a Bigfoot fan. Willow Creek. Willow Creek is a go-nowhere slog around a small town and then into a forest until eventually, finally, Bigfoot gets them. And so for the most part, the scene that you're interested in is at the very end of the movie when they're in a tent going, it's out there. And most people really, really love it. I think that Primal Darkness did that scene, but better. Seriously. I think I felt a lot more in this one. I felt a kind of a progression in the scene, the stakes rising and rising as it went along. And I think they really nailed that feeling of, I don't know, it's that weird feeling in a tent. You're claustrophobic because it's really small, but also you feel completely exposed because it's just fabric, right? It's a little bit of both. You feel safe because no one can see you, but also completely vulnerable because everybody knows where you are and you don't know where they are. So it's wonderful. They really nailed that scene. The rest of the action in this movie involves a lot of running around an abandoned mine, some running across the desert, and the Neanderthal having a mean arm. He managed to throw some rocks really well. And it's okay. It's, I don't know that I felt a lot in those scenes, but they were entertaining for sure. And I really like the mine. The only problem is, once again, man, this guy, our main character, really likes filming the ground. Like, he would point up the camera, and every time he looked down in the mine shaft, oh man, this looks cool. And he'd look down the holes, oh, that looks cool. But then things would get tense, and he would point that camera at the floor for minutes. Oh, it's hard to get through sometimes. But overall, the upshot of it is we get our decent action scenes. Now, there isn't much of a plot here. People go in the desert. They have their own motivations for being out there. We as an audience don't really care. And then eventually they come across creepy things and the Neanderthal gets them. But here's the thing. Even though there's almost no plot, we still have plot holes. Big ones. Like, okay, first, they say that all his footage was found in his truck. The Neanderthal, I'm having a hard time believing, gathered up this guy's stuff and put it in his truck. So, this is not for plot lovers, but it does have some things to recommend it. So, you know what? Actually, why don't I break into the main question, the big question, the only question that matters. Should you watch it? Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on you. It depends on what kind of person you are. If you're up for a creature feature, if you just want, see some people discover the trail of some dangerous thing and just have that dangerous thing come and get them, and this delivers. It's got some decent gory bits and some blood and actually pretty good sound design. Although I will encourage you to not turn the volume up too loud. They just come right up to the top, almost peaking for the whole thing. And when something loud happens, you will blow out your eardrums. So watch that. That's not a criticism. That's not a plus or a minus. Just make sure you don't turn it up too loud. So if you're up for something simple and something straightforward and something that you can play a video game while it's playing in the background, I mean, this is great second screen viewing stuff. As far as the other crowd, the people who this isn't for, I mean, if you need a plot, this isn't going to work for you. If you need strong soliloquy about the meaning of life, this isn't there. I mean, yes, the characters have a reasonable amount of depth. The performances are pretty good, actually pretty above average for this kind of production. But you're not going to be moved here. If you're looking for poignant drama, it ain't here. If you're so, that's not for you. This is just a straight up like monster gonna get you movie. Oh, and kind of as a side note, I should mention that I found this one on foundtv.com, which I'm not sponsored by, but I do highly recommend. A great place for found footage movies. They constantly adding new titles. And so yeah, this was on there, and they had ads up for a movie I really like Black Daruma. And I might not get around to reviewing Black Daruma because I kind of have a list of things I want to cover in the next little while. So if I never get back to it, please go and see Black Daruma as well. I cannot recommend that one high enough. It's actually a favorite of mine. It's on my must-see list for anyone. So see Black Daruma. And I've been talking about a lot of movies other than the one I'm reviewing today, so I'm going to get back to it. Oh, but one last meta thing I just want to ask you. Can I just ask you a question? I, at some point, stopped doing spoilers in my reviews. I used to do like a full breakdown, and I'd like put on screen, skip to this time code, and I'd give you a warning. I stopped doing it, and I stopped just putting spoilers entirely because, to me, the only thing that matters in a review is should you watch it. And ratings don't mean anything. You don't rate art. It doesn't make any sense. It's like giving Van Gogh a number and Monet a number and saying this one's better than that one. No. You don't rate art. It doesn't make any sense to me. However, is it for you? That's the real question. That's the only question that matters. Is something for you? You should be, taking ownership of whether you enjoy something or not just because it has a score. Why did I go on that tangent? There was a reason. Oh, spoilers. So I stopped including spoilers because I wanted to try to make a review that would help you make up your mind if this was going to work out for you, if this was going to be something that entertained you. And what's the point in doing that if I tell you everything that happened in the movie? It's ruined at that point. Well, even if you get to the end of a review, you're like, yeah, that sounds like it's right up my alley. Unfortunately, you ruined it for me. Like, I can't do that. Having said that, that's my thinking. I really, really need to know what you think because you're the one watching these. So if you leave a comment, let me know if you want to keep spoilers off or if you want me to do the full plot breakdowns like I used to do. Just leave a comment either way, and just keep in mind other people might have the opposite perspective, so I really do want to hear your perspective on this kind of key issue and how these things are going to happen, because I am about to review dozens more found footage movies right here on this channel. Some of the biggest ones, some really important ones, movies that really mean something to people. And how that's done very much is going to depend on what you want. So I need to hear from you. So leave a comment, check out the channel for more reviews. And that about covers it. Yeah, so until next time, see you later, you bunch of primitives. Okay, good, stop.